Welcome back, my financially intentional posse. We have a special treat today. We are joined by my friend, my homie, OG homie, Andre Albritton. We're just going to say, I'm just joined by my homie, Andre, because I'm not going to mess up his last name.
Listen, I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited. And yeah, we've been OGs for a while now. So, again, I'm minding how old I am getting.
Exactly. Like, I've been knowing Andre forever, and we were reminiscing on even just how old my youngest is, because she wasn't even in existence before, and she's turning 4 on New Year's Eve. So
Wow.
This is such a good experience. But what I love most is that how much we've been able to see each other come up kind of in this industry and how things have changed for both of us. So I just love your origin story, and I want you to share with people how you kind of learned about money and kind of like your background in like experiencing money. Like, how were you taught about money? Like, I want to hear all about like Andre back in the day.
All right, so let's go back to way back when. So if we're talking about my parents, I think I mainly got 2 things from them. One, my mom, and she's still like this today. She always said there's a recession coming, So that's really all I got from my mom. I think recession came maybe twice eventually, but that's what she always kept saying. The other one was for my dad. I probably took this over more than I would like to admit, but he's just kind of cheap. I'm kind of cheap too, except on certain items like speakers. I almost spend a lot. Going out in Atlanta, I almost spend a lot. But it's like paying for shipping pricing. Nah, I ain't paying for no shipping. If it's not Bogo at Publix, I ain't gonna pay for that either. Yeah, I pick and choose what I'm cheap with. And then, the same as far as like my background, I got started in finance 2016. Basically, I was working in insurance, State Farm in Dallas, Texas. No lie, I was bored. So I said I need to do something with my life. And I remember at work, I read through all the comics of Walking Dead. So I said, okay, what I'm going to do next? So I decided to learn a little bit more about money. I started studying for the CFP. Never even took the test, but I just was studying for it. And I decided to go ahead and post what I was learning online. So I started posting it. My friends would see it. They liked it. And then that one Instagram page, that became the Millennials Next Door. Then I had to create my own personal page again, pretty much. But since then, worked in a financial firm. It was pretty interesting. It wasn't like Wolf of Wall Street where I thought it would be. It was very boring. I want to say I might have been the only black person that was ever hired there. I'm not sure. But either way, it was a pretty boring job. But it's like, hey, this is my first experience. And I was just pushing paper, creating accounts, handling checks that were way, way past my budget, way past my salary for the whole year, and just like one check, which was crazy. So fast forward to now, I'm just doing financial advising, still doing my influencing, still doing the podcast. Overall, I just feel like I have a spirit that likes to help people. So I just help people with their money, because at the end of the day, the more money you have, the better steward you are of your money, the more options you have in life. And I help people maximize their options. That's all I want to do.
I think that's incredible. And I was cracking up when you were talking about your mom is basically like Stuart Little, like the sky is falling, the recession is coming. Like,
so this day.
Yeah. But like, what did she do to prepare for a recession?
I want to say she sold a lot of her stuff when the first fears of it came up. And when I'm thinking back to like the 07-08 crash, it's probably because she kept saying it. The moment she saw it, she said, oh, I'm right. And she took all the money out, sold everything. So that helped them out, really. And then she got back in, kind of once everything kind of situated out. And now she's possibly selling again. I don't know.
So she just sold all her stocks. Like, she's just like, I'm getting out of the stock market as it's going down. And then she gets back in as it's going up.
Pretty much, yeah. It turned out to work. So it's like, hey, okay, I'll take it. Cool beans.
Well, her intuition led her to have some pretty good timing. I'm sure some financial advising firms would love her to have her on staff then.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, I know you very well from Millennials Next Door because you give such good money advice. So much so I didn't even know that you were licensed this whole time. But you have a strategy and a way of walking people through their finances that I would love for you to share if you want to break that down for everybody.
Oh yeah, for sure. And just give a little background. I started doing financial coaching maybe 2018. And this was before the same that I even knew that people even pay you to tell them what to do with their money. Like that thing was brain just like, wait, people pay you to do what? So yeah, started doing that coaching. So I broke it down into 3 buckets. And I did this just because I really noticed on and on, especially the people I was dealing with, that your finances can be intimidating. You know, you hear a lot that you need to pay down debt, you need to save, you need to invest. It's like, what do you need to invest in? What's the best credit card? What's the best savings account? It's intimidating if you start just trying to tackle it all at once. So I broke it down into days to make it easier. So we got 3 different buckets to represent a day. The first one is today. On today's bucket, I just want people just to focus on what you can actually get done today or in the near future. So one is like setting those financial goals, establishing a spending plan, aka a budget, creating an emergency fund just for starters. You don't have to have the full thing max, but having some type of cushion for when life pushes you down. You know, you're not going to hit your butt on the concrete. And then the other one, being I've worked in insurance for so long, is checking out your car, home, and life insurance. Because I promise you, people have called in before asking for insurance after something happened. Like, look, they'll be in a car accident and say, hey, let me get insurance now. Now, it don't work that way. So you know, after today's bucket, we look at the next bucket, which is yesterday's bucket. So that's the bucket I think a lot of people don't like to discuss, just because we're going to go ahead into the debt management. So credit cards, student loans, tracking your credit score, tracking your net worth, and also forgiving yourself for a lot of things you've done, so you don't have to really carry that on with you into the future. And again, people don't like that bucket because, yeah, it's like looking back at all the dumb things you might have done in the past, like credit cards going back to college or whatever. And then the fun bucket, this is tomorrow's bucket. This is the bucket people tend to start on, even though they probably shouldn't. So hence like NFTs and random stocks. Yeah, so tomorrow's bucket, I'd consider this a luxury bucket. So this goes into the categories of retirement planning, education funds for children, next generational wealth, and estate planning. And like I said, this is the fun bucket, but you need to have a strong foundation. Because again, as we have seen before, especially with those NFTs, because I ain't going to let people forget about that. Y'all invested in it. Y'all really hyped it up. Those things are trash now. And yeah, it's like, okay, if you're going to invest in it, that's cool, but you should still have some type of strong financial foundation. If you're putting your mortgage, your rent, kids' tuition money into this, then yeah, it's just going to end up in a bad situation for most of the times. I'm not saying some people didn't get rich off this stuff, but the majority of people I've seen, they ain't make that much money. They're kind of stuck holding the bag.
Yeah, I like that because so many people like get caught up in like these flashy investments. They want to go from like nothing to all the way up. And I always love that meme of like that person like sitting on the landing of the steps and then have their foot all the way up to the 5th step. Like you skipping hella steps, bro. Like seriously. Yeah. Like and the thing is like these are not even tested, tried and true investments. These are really new things. And yes, you have heard people getting rich, but typically by the time you hear people getting rich off of things, it's kind of like not the right opportunity for you. Yeah. So I love those groupings of days because it kind of gives people something to look forward to, also to know where they start. I also like that you have kind of used this phrase, the financial junk drawer, because people want to do well with their finances, but they end up with this junk drawer. And we all have those junk drawers in our house. Yeah. So I think it is hilarious. Explain to me what that is.
So pretty much what the financial junk drawer is, when people come to the financial advisor, they finally get a hold of the finances, that's usually years of them telling themselves they need to get caught up or they need to do this. So it's like year number 1, so I should pay off my debt. They put it in the drawer. Year number 2, I should really start saving. Put it in the drawer. Year number 3, I should start investing. And this can go on for multiple years depending on the person. Because I have sat down with people in the late 50s asking how to retire. And quite frankly, it's not necessarily possible, but it's very difficult, especially if you haven't started since your late 50s. So yes, the junk drawer, I mean, it can even be compared to me and my total fitness journey of trying to get a six-pack. Like, I've been trying to see it for like the past few years. And so, Andre, if you would have started this way before, you would have been way ahead of the game. I would have had my six-pack. I would have been cooking eggs off my abs or something maybe. I don't know. But yes, that junk drawer is something serious that people just need to unload off of. I mean, there's no easier way to say it, but I can definitely say the more years you keep on going without it, it's going to get more and more stuff in there.
Yeah, and I see it a lot too. Like people put things, especially their finances, on the back burner. And it's simply because like sometimes they just don't understand or think it's super intimidating or don't want to take that first step. I mean, so I always tell people just do one thing today. Like don't wait because the time is going to pass. And before you know it, and that's with everything. That's with insurance. That's with estate planning. Mm-hmm. That's with like all kinds of things that you see people just putting off when it could be done with, like, and it doesn't have to be hard. And that's why I love, being able to have this podcast to get in front of people to show them like, hey, it doesn't have to be hard. These are simple, actionable things that you can do right now to get started. So I love that analogy, the financial junk drawer, because we all have one. We all have one. And I'm still working on my six-pack too. And I've been working on that since high school. So yeah,
it's going to come about one day.
One day.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And one thing I'll mention too is when I was at this pop-up shop outside in the cold this past weekend, this one guy, he does prep. So like, he was like, literally have these emergency bags. That's his niche. So I thought that was really cool. But one thing he did say was preparation is a luxury. And I feel it's the same way with our finances, with our health, with mental health as well. Preparation is truly a luxury that we take for granted. And if I had to make up a fact, so this is an Andre fact, don't take it too seriously, y'all. But I would say 82.76% of Americans don't retire how they think they will. Like, it's okay to make the plan, but as far as them retiring, like, hey, you get hurt, your job goes bust, no one wants to hire you anymore. It does happen more often than not. It's something we just don't talk about.
Yeah, that is so true. But the thing is that usually what happens is that we underprepare thinking that we have more time than we have. Another thing that we don't do is prepare for things that we know is a strong possibility of happening, like us getting hurt on our jobs. So like, I think like the disability insurance component of, finances is really undersold. And yes, I think it is one of those things that's kind of looked at as a luxury, but
yeah,
chances are something's going to happen to you where you're going to lose the ability to either partially or fully be able to work in the same capacity that you're working in. And so like, these are just things like that go into prep. And I think there's so many different layers and levels, but the key is to just get started where you are and not get overwhelmed and take those first steps. So with the people that you typically work with, like what's their demographics? Like usually what are their financial situations are like, and like, what are their biggest hangups?
So to be real, 99% is African-American women. I don't ask any questions. I have to keep telling my girlfriend, hey, I got a lot of women clients. I don't know what it is. I would like to think it's because I'm good looking. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. Don't know. But yes, those are my typical client 9 times out of 10. And I sit down with everybody, honestly. So whether you have a lot of money, whether you don't, I am here to help. So like my goal next year is to create 200 financial plans for African Americans in the community. And again, you can be making 6 figures easy. You can be making only 20K. I'll sit down with you, no charge, call it a day, easy help. But yeah, those are like my typical clients, some of the natural hangups. And this is a little bit insight into what I do as a financial advisor. We make money off of commission. So it's not the perfect system, I'll be honest, but it is what it is right now. But yes, we make commission off of those disability policies you mentioned, life insurance, and taking assets under management. So for the life insurance and disability, especially for our race, we tend to get denied more often than not. That's one thing I have noticed. And it's simply because of the being obesity rates among African Americans, they are greater. And especially when I do sit down with young ladies now, I guess the thing gets to be thick, which is cool. Capture the guys.
Those BBLs.
I didn't want to say it out loud. But yeah, like I have a lot of people who do get denied for life insurance. People think they're just going to take your money, but it's really not the case. They do their research.
Well, I want to pause there because actually this is my first time hearing it. And I don't know if it's because you're in Georgia and I'm in California.
It's Georgia, we be a little bit heavy down here.
Y'all a little bit thicker down there. I don't want to stereotype, but it's really, truly like my first time ever hearing that. But this is something that we have to plan for, and something that you need to understand is that, like, in order to get a life insurance policy, they want you to be quote unquote healthy, and that's going to look different for different demographics, right? So you have a heavy African American woman population, and so like BMI matters, and so it's just something that you have to think about, like along with the prep. Like, yes, your weight and your health does factor into your financial plan. And so all those things tie together. But what I've also noticed, though, is when people get intentional about things with their finances, they also get intentional about things like with the weight and eating and other parts of their lives. And so they all tie together. I know I wasn't as healthy as I was until I started like really diving into my finances, because like then it helped me like really just hone in on like what I wanted my life to look like. And maybe like being denied for life insurance should be a wake up call for some people to be like, listen, this is not just money and finances is not just about like having a number at the end of the day. It's really about living your best life overall.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely add on two things. So one you mentioned is pretty much, I guess I'll put it like this. The best time to get life insurance is very similar to the best time to ask the bank for money or like a credit limit increase. And you ask them for that stuff when you don't need it. So while you're young, you're healthy, you know you're going to qualify, now's the time to get it. Like up front, when I have young clients coming in, like millennials who are younger than me, say, hey, now's the time to get it. I ask them a simple question. How's your health going to be in 5 years? Nobody knows. I mean, I wish I knew, but I don't. I might not even be here in 5 years. Who knows? So, yeah, it's like get it while you qualify. And then the other thing, this is my mantra I live by, and I do mean this in this order, but I believe everyone should take care of themselves mentally first, physically, and then financially. Because, when you get to the retirement, I mean, imagine, like, you make a lot of money, you get to retirement, and you didn't take care of yourself physically or mentally, so you can't even enjoy the money. That'll make no sense.
It's not even that. I think that a lot of people think that money fixes the problem, but really what happens is typically if you fix yourself mentally and physically, all those other things will fall into place. A lot of times, even like people seeking out, help from you, Andre, probably need to see a financial therapist first, or just a regular therapist first, because there are a lot of traumas and blocks that will get in the way of people getting their finances together. So even if they have the best financial plan, even if they implement these things, because of some kind of mental trauma or block that they have, they'll fall back into money mistakes that they have been making. And so I think that is super duper important. And I love that. So, okay. So talking about your demographic and your client population, what typically do you see kind of gets in their way of them completing the plans that you put in place for them?
It's going to be discipline and mindset. With so much information, and I tweeted this recently, but after the age of 25, saying that your school didn't teach you this, that's not a valid excuse to me anymore. I've seen what people do on TikTok and how they make all these cuts and everything. I've seen how people can follow a YouTube video to do something. So it's like, hey, you can do the same for finances. Like the information is out there.
I love that because like people like, first of all, two things I always say. If you can create an Instagram page, like if you just have a basic Instagram account, you can follow those same steps to open an investment account. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, on another note, okay, you work with Black women, so I know you see the slay, okay? Like all the layers of makeup and all that stuff. First of all, I never learned how to do that. Like I cannot do that. That is a real skill. So if you can have your face beat to the gods, you know how to transform yourself like witchcraft, okay? You a whole nother person. You can invest because it is just step one of those things. Like it is really that simple. You can create a budget. You can do these things. Like seriously, like I think people put so much on it and I don't understand, where that comes from, but I can only imagine that it kind of goes back to like some kind of financial trauma. I know like in the African American community, we were growing up like, with the make it enough kind of philosophy, like we don't have it. Like, no, you can't, like a lot of deprivation. And so when you get something, there's a lot of hoarding and a lot of money is hard kind of sentiment. And there's a lot of mental work that needs to go into that. So kind of bringing it back full circle to like your philosophy. Yeah. True.
And, I think I have another spin on why people feel the need a financial advisor. Because at the end of the day, I tell people, hey, you can Google this stuff if you want to. But if you saw me and made your money, I'll do it. I'll take your money. Don't worry about that. But you can do this yourself, too. So I think it's just because for whatever reason, throughout the years, we as American citizens, at least, were so dependent on financial advisors to invest for us. I mean, when we think about history, we used to have pensions. Pensions ain't common anymore. So that was one company that's really going to take care of you. Then financial advisors say, hey, this advisor is going to take your money. They're going to invest it for you. People forget before Robinhood that you had to, one, pay for trades. Like each trade you did, you had to pay for. Two, you need to have all the money for the stock. There weren't no slice options. And three, you had to have an advisor to say, hey, do this for me. But now we know we can do this on our own. So I think throughout the years, for a lot of consumers, it's just kind of gather the thoughts that we financial advisors might have a secret sauce or something or know all the secrets. Not the case. I remember when I worked in the financial firm my first few months, the one head honcho, he had a tough question. So Nassim, you already know what he did. He told someone else to find out. One of the financial advisors, they Googled it, went back to him. Simple as that. So yeah, we don't have any secret sauce. I like to think I'm needed most of the times, again, because people need some backing on their thoughts. But oftentimes, you know the answer. Like it's kind of like working out or losing weight. You know what you need to do. More push-ups, eat less foods, drink less. You know what you need to do. But some people, they need like that workout partner or that workout trainer to get into that mindset and create that discipline.
Yeah, that is true. Like within my lifetime, as an adult, I should say, within my adult lifespan, there has been a lot of gatekeeping in the financial services industry. I remember like making my, getting my like first 6 figures check as a nurse. And I was just like, ooh, now I have money to invest. And then walking into a swab or something. And then being like, well, we only work with clients that have like a minimum of $100,000 or something crazy like that. And I was like, who has money like that just laying around? And then not even understanding. So I understand, like, so we're in this kind of like in between the sandwich generation of, the way that we look at finances, where it used to be totally like you think somebody else has to handle it, as to where now we can totally do it independently and do it as efficiently and for less fees. But people just need to have the confidence to do that. But I feel like still like, okay, like video editing and all this other kind of stuff, like you said, like the things that the transitions that people can do on TikTok and Instagram and all these kind of things. If you can learn to do that, you can learn to manage your finances. And so 100%. I think there's still a lot of like fear, and fear is a big motivator for a lot of things. There's still a lot of fear. So hopefully, platforms like ours can help break down that fear and get people into the habit of really taking control of their finances on their own. Like you said, we're like personal trainers. Like you don't necessarily need us. We give out a lot of free game. And I know you give out a lot of free game on your platform too. Like, just follow those steps. You can ask for clarification, but you don't necessarily need financial advisors. So I want to
Yeah.
talk about your role, because you transitioned from like selling life insurance to kind of being a coach and then really going full fledged into the CFP. Why did you choose to go that route?
I decided to go this route because working inside insurance, this is my second entrepreneurial story because I've done this entrepreneurial thing before. So I said, okay, Andre, I'm going to try this financial advisor thing not way back, in the summer of 2022. I said, okay, I'm going to get my life health license again because I needed that because I do sell life insurance and disability policies and whatnot. So I got that. And Asima, for whatever reason, I guess it dinged something inside the State Farm system. So they said, hey, this guy has a life insurance license. And with State Farm, they have a code of conduct. So pretty much it was going to be a conflict of interest. To break it down simply, if I'm talking to clients, they think I might try and sell them life insurance as well. So that was a big no-no. So once that thing dinged, I think 2 days later, they said, hey, you either need to A, leave the job, B, let go of your license, or C, we can move this up to corporate, see if they'll give you a pass, which option C wasn't really an option, I guess. So yeah, I said, okay, well, I guess I'm going to head out. So then from there, I really started going to it full time. And I started liking it more and more just because I just create financial plans for people. I mean, that's what I always wanted to do. And to make it in this business, you need to talk to high net worth people, middle net worth people, pretty much being known in the area. So I kind of been doing that already. Like, I'm part of a lot of organizations. I told you before, I'm doing a game night tomorrow. So I feel like I had my network around me now. And through the Millennials Next Door, I have a strong enough platform that I believe that people understand I'm genuine about it, and I truly do want to help. Now, in the flip side, if I happen to sell some life insurance, hey, more money for me. But yeah, I always believe the planning comes first before selling, hands down. So I just hope, if they decide they want to use me, cool. If they don't, I got recommendations. The point is to get this stuff done,
Right.
with or without me.
Right. I love it. And I just want to talk a little bit about like the different structures and like working with different kind of financial advisors. So we have an expert that's on the podcast who's a fee only fiduciary financial advisor. So his financial advising is just, you pay him a flat fee or a monthly fee, and then he gives the advice. You go buy the products. He tells you what to buy and what to do. As opposed to, you're an agent, so you sell products and get commission off of that, correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first off, I will say the financial industry pricing and payment model is a mess. I honestly don't like it, but again, it is what it is. So when you mentioned earlier you went to Schwab and they basically said you don't have enough money to invest with us, I do get it, because for us, as far as like those assets under management, we only get 1%. And that's not including the other fees we got to pay out to other people too. So if someone comes to me with 10,000, that's on 1%. It's like, that's not much. It's like maybe $50 I would be actually in my pocket. So that right there, I don't like that portion just because it makes people want to find the big fish. And then middle class, low class people, they kind of get left out. It's an unfair system. It's not right. But again, that's what we live in. So the fee only, that is something rather new in the past few years. So I personally like that one. When it comes to asset management and coaching, that's what I do as well. And yeah, I mean, the commission still something cool too, but I do like fee only and definitely fiduciary. And I can explain that real quick. So fiduciary and suitability, those are the two big terms in the financial world. So let's imagine you go into Macy's and you want to buy a coat for the winter time. The first person you meet is a salesperson. They are going to represent suitability. They say, okay, you're looking for a coat. Perfect. I got a coat right here for you. The coat looks decent on you. And they say, okay, well, you can get this coat. I just happen to get the highest commission possible. It's a win-win, right? Now, for fiduciary, the salesperson, they might put on the same coat on you and say, that coat looks pretty decent, but I have a better looking coat in the back. Let me go grab it. They put the new coat on you, say, you know what? This coat looks a much better fit for you. And also turns out they don't get as much commission. So overall, difference between fiduciary and suitability, is fiduciary. They have to put the best item that is for you. Like you are put ahead of their commission pretty much. Suitability, they're going to get you what you need, but it might not be the best product depending on the person. So at all times, find someone you do trust.
So it sounds like you kind of do a hybrid model because you don't necessarily have to sell somebody into a product. You do a lot of like the planning and the coaching as well. So that's cool. I like that structure because you do have the option to put them into something and actually walk them through that process, like the life insurance. So I like that structure. What was I going to say? Oh my God. When you brought up the entrepreneurship, I remember that you are like the king of side hustles. And I used to follow your little side hustles, all your like crazy little things that you used to do. And I love this because I feel like, Andre, you don't wait for money to come to you. Like you always hustling and you always gonna go out.
Yeah.
So can you talk to us about a few of your side hustles? What are your favorite ones?
My favorite one, hands down, is Uber. Like, I love to drive. Y'all, I'm a talkative, friendly-ass dude from Orlando, Florida. So, yeah, I want to talk to everybody in the car. So that's always been fun to me. And depending on when you're doing it, you can, and depending on where you're driving, because in Atlanta, I did make $1,000 in the weekend. I'll say usually on a weekend, I do 24 hours, like not straight, of course, but 24 hours from Friday to Sunday. And I walk with about $700 to $850 in just revenue. Again, it's not bad. My car's pretty small. I don't pay much in gas, so it just kind of fit me well. The other one I did in the past was the scooters, and that was crazy in Atlanta. Like at one point, you would see U-Haul trucks at 10 o'clock at night with kids in them, and the kids would go out, grab the scooters, bring them back to the U-Haul. It was madness, but man, that thing paid out at first. Since then, it kind of calmed down. Like now it's only $5 per scooter, but sometimes it was like $20 per scooter. Yeah, that thing calmed down a lot. So outside of Uber, I do that one pretty actively. The second one I do is Airbnb. So I live in a 2.5 house. It's just me. My Airbnb guest just left yesterday. Like, I don't know, maybe this was a good timing, but he just left yesterday. I was getting about $1,200 from him just for one room. Again, not bad, y'all. Like, you got to live with someone. That part sucks, but it's a sacrifice at the end of the day. I mean, if you're being good with the money, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. That's house hacking, like at its best. And you're using Airbnb. I house hack. I rent my rooms out to travel. I have a room that I rent out to travel nurses. I love it because it's just an extra built-in support system for me. But I love it, so I don't mind living with other people because I always meet the most interesting people that end up being like family.
Yeah, and you mentioned house hacking, so I gotta tell my story now. So house hacking, y'all, that is a love language, just like dividends. When I think about it, me and my ex-wife, we lived in one home, sold it, made a profit. Then I ended up in an Airbnb, just kind of passed the time by. This was before COVID hit. I said, you know what? I don't want to be this Airbnb no more. Use that money to get a townhome out here in Decatur, Georgia. It was a fixer-upper. So I fixed up a lot of stuff. And the next thing you know, the pandemic hits. So I was kind of there, but I had a roommate. She was paying about 80% of the mortgage by herself. And then I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to move into another house. And it just turned out that the market took off. So I sold that house for way more than it's worth. Called it a day. Now I'm in a 4-2 in a better community with a gate. So yeah, house hacking is a way, because I don't make a lot of money. Like I think my salary before this was like maybe $50K a year. So yeah, if without house hacking, I would never be able to afford this home. So yeah, Nate, people, take a look at that. Sorry, I got used to my own podcast.
Oh, you're about to say neighbors. No, I love it. I love it. But I do kind of want you to break it down a little bit more because I understand what you're saying. But for people who don't really understand the process of house hacking, he basically walked you through how he went from went through 4 houses and basically doesn't have any living expenses. So it really doesn't matter how much he's bringing home because his overhead is so low. Like, Andre, if you wanted to just take a year off and not work, you could probably be cool and still be able to live, right? And that's what house hacking has afforded you to do. So let's walk us through again. So you and your ex-wife had a house and then you guys sold that. And go through
Yep.
there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we sold that, and this was in the gentrified area of Atlanta. So we did pretty well. I think we walked with maybe $40K each. So that was pretty cool. Paid off some credit card debt, called it a day. Then the next house, and I think this is most important for house hacking, is using delayed gratification. So think of it like this. Delayed gratification is to say, hey, I make more money, but that doesn't mean I need to spend more money. So if you guys ever look up the term lifestyle inflation, it is real, I promise you. Because usually after college, you make the most money you might have made in the forever, and all of a sudden, you're too good to stay with the roommate. Or all of a sudden, your Honda Civic ain't doing it. You need that BMW now. So yeah, it's like you make an extra $50K in your life, but you also got extra $50K of expenses. You're not realizing the extra amount you actually have. So going back to the story here with the house hacking, you want to make sure you have some way to pay the mortgage or as much as possible. So again, it goes back to delayed gratification. As a bachelor again, move into a townhome. I didn't want to live with anybody. I want to live by myself. But delayed gratification is real. So I had a roommate. She was paying about $600, and then we split the utilities, and the mortgage was about maybe $820, $850. So it really wasn't much. I just
Only
had to
in
take care of
Atlanta. Jesus.
Yeah, no, you gotta love it. But yeah, like she stayed there for pretty much until I moved out. So that was just great income, especially during COVID. I was taking that money and investing in stocks. So again, preparation is key. So during COVID, a lot of people, they learned how to invest in stocks during COVID, not prior. So they weren't really able to take full advantage of it. But, you know, for sure, I sure enough did.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. But with that townhome, with the roommate, I wasn't paying much again. So I had enough time to save up. So that's another key to house hacking is you need some type of plan to move into the next house, your next big home, or buy another home, whatever your plan is. So for me, again, I think I just had great timing, just a bunch of luck. But I found a new community near the Cascade area, if you're familiar with it. But in the area, it was new homes being built. I said, new homes? Okay, bet. I put down $1,000 deposit just to get the lot secured. And this was February 2021, I suppose. Yeah, February 2021. And during that time, I was able to still look around. And I guess that's when the housing market really started to take off. So I was like, okay, well, I can't find nothing. I guess I'm moving into this home now. So I actually paid the full price, and it cost $270, 4.2. And then, yeah, overall, again, it's about that delayed gratification. So there's other ways to do it. You can do a multi-family home where you have one person living on one side, you live on the other. Hey, they pay the mortgage pretty much, or a big portion of it. I had one guest on my podcast. She had a 4-unit apartment, 3 people paying for the whole apartment. She lived in hers for free. And yeah, it just goes back to that delayed gratification. Doing what you don't want to do now, what other people aren't willing to do, so you can live the life you want to live down the road. Because, yeah, 10 years, I ain't going to be doing this.
Yes.
Yeah, I won't be on the beach, hopefully.
Yeah, just chilling. I love it. And dang, 270 something. Oh my God, for a 4-bedroom house in 2021. That's insane. So with your mortgage, like how much of that do you actually pay?
For this past person, he's been here, well, he was here since August. He's paying $1,200. My mortgage is $1,600, some chump change. So I only had to pay $400 on the mortgage and HOA fees. Prior to this, when I was really doing Airbnb, I had 2 people in both rooms. So I'll probably do that again, maybe February. But yeah, like one room I charged, I think $30 per day. The other one's $40 per day just because it's big, it has its own TV. It's kind of more luxurious. So again, if I book out 2 rooms, then yeah, it's going to pay for the whole mortgage. And especially, you know, starting with a new career in this business, yeah, I'm taking all the money I can get.
I love it. I love it. But then I love what you said too. Like you don't just use that money and inflate your lifestyle. You use that money to invest. You use that money to save and look for the next property. So I think that's what's key. And that's with anything. Yeah. That's with even just working a 9 to 5 and getting a bonus. Like don't use that money to like inflate your lifestyle. Use that money to put extra money away so that later on work becomes optional for you. And I think like that's the goal for all of us, is to make work optional.
Still have fun with the money.
Exactly.
Yeah, still have a little bit of fun, because I definitely bought a lot of speakers throughout this past year.
You and your speakers. But yeah,
the house be shaking.
Oh my God, you are so funny. I think like that's like the whole like thing about life, is that you have to do the things that you enjoy as well, but you don't have to like live outside of your means, or you don't have to, in order to be successful, you have to have a balance between things that make you happy, like your speakers, and things that are going to provide for you in the future. And I just don't think people do that balance very well. I think like it's like a lot of this YOLO mentality, and not a lot of that what if, like, are preparing for the future mentality. So I think that you do that excellently, but the best way to do it, again, is to reduce your housing expenses, reduce your transportation expenses. So you reduce your housing expenses through house hacking, you reduce your transportation expenses through doing Uber, and $600 and something a month, and $600 to $800 a month in a weekend is nothing to laugh at. Like, as a side hustle income, I mean, imagine how much, like, you can put away. I mean, to max out, your IRA, it's only $500 a month, So just like put things into perspective. But anyway, Andre, I love your story. I love all the things that you share. You're an incredible resource. I love Millennials Next Door, even though I cannot spell millennial.
Hey, you and everybody else and myself, I did not think about that when I made the name until I started spelling it myself.
I cannot spell it. Now. And I'm like the oldest millennial. So I'm like the oldest millennial you can be. But yeah, I like the generations, like the X and the Z and the Y. Like, that's easy. But millennial is so hard. Anyway, you guys check out Millennials Next Door. Andre has his own podcast, great newsletters, great community and content. But if people want to work with you, how can they get in contact with you?
In true millennial fashion, y'all can just send me up in the DMs, honestly. Like, I answer my DMs all the time.
Slide in the DMs.
Exactly. If you guys want to follow me, it's at the Millennials Next Door. Or you can probably just look up Andre Albritton. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook. Those I'm more boring than the influencing side of me. So yeah, if anything, follow the IG page.
I love it. And thank you so much, Andre. So much insight, so much fun. But I really think that you have figured out the key to success, and you have fun doing it. So I love seeing it.
Hey, thank you. And thank you so much for having me on the show. And I always love what you do for your community as well. So it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.